It's not working. Oh, here we go. In case you guys are watching, we're just waiting for this thing to go live. Today is our first day ever, and I don't know if it's working, but as soon as I see there we go. It's puck time. Tuesday, March 3rd, Alex B. Smith and Carmine Bianco joining us. And I'm a little bit shell-shocked right now. We'll get to Alex's T-shirt in a second, but just want to give everybody a heads up. We're going to be doing this live every day from now on. 1 p.m. Eastern is the start time. We're going to be taking, we have a chat box, so you guys could ask us questions, which we'll try to get to, and we'll interact with you guys. And we're excited to do this. Today is our first day at it, so please bear with us all week as we try to figure out the kinks, the problems, the trials, the tribulations. I'm Lawrence Presman, and you're watching Puck Time with the Prez. Before we get into $2 Tuesdays, Alex, I don't think I even knew you owned a T-shirt.
Yes, I own more than just hockey jerseys, and this is a hockey-related T-shirt. I've been posting this on Twitter all week. This is the Stan the Clown, obviously the Blackhawks general manager, Stan Bowman, and some of the clown moves that he's made lately. So we got the hashtag Fire Stan campaign going, and these shirts are available. I'm not selling them. There's another seller that has them, but I have the link on my Twitter at AXNO Sports. So.
He's Alex B. Smith on a 12-4 NHL run. Huge congratulations to you, my friend Carmine Bianco. Wearing a Jack Eichel shirt. Somebody should, I guess.
What's going on, my friend? I can't find the link, so I don't see the comments. But I'm sure I'll be... this is going on the YouTube Wager Talk channel, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's not going to be any major comments today, dude.
Actually, I do see it now, so that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
No. Full slate of cards. I'm looking forward to it. Only a couple games last night, and then we go to 10 games. I know guys don't really like it. They like to see 6 or 7 games every night. That's just not going to happen. It's one of those things, I think.
We just tweeted out that we're doing a beta testing live, so maybe we'll have some people come on. I just did a retweet. I won my hockey game last night, going away nice and easy. Nashville and Edmonton over the total. It was over in the second period, and then one team went over by themselves. That's how you break a slump. I'm ready to roll, dude. We got 10 games on tap today. We're going to take 4 of them apart in great detail, and then we're going to take a look at the final 6 in the last minute of play. Before we get into that, just a heads up, it's $2 Tuesday over at wagertalk.com and at sportsmemo.com. And it's an interesting $2 Tuesday, actually, because we took Buster Sports, who is a handicapper over at wagertalk.com. We made him the $2 Tuesday over at Sports Memo. And we took Drew Martin, who is a Sports Memo handicapper, and made him the $2 Tuesday over at Wager Talk. Guys, check that out, and especially anybody who's never purchased from us before. Both Buster and Drew are absolutely rolling. We always pick one of our top 3 hottest handicappers at that time, and we make them the $2 Tuesday, so you guys could head over to Wager Talk and Sports Memo and buy one of their plays for $2. And we just got our first comment from Daniel. What about the great Bruins Lightning game today? Daniel, we just started the show, dude. We're going to get to all the games. And
that's one of our featured games today.
It certainly is. But let's start with the first one, boys. The New York Rangers against the St. Louis Blues. And the Rangers find themselves at plus 125 at home with an over and under of 6. And as predicted by the Prez, the Blues were going to have a really bad February, and they did. And then I told you about 10 days ago, it's time to jump right back on. They've won 7 games in a row. Their last 2 went to a shootout, but they did carry the game, won their 2 points. They beat Dallas 4-3. They beat the New York Islanders 3-2. This is their first road game in their last 3. And the Islanders, the Rangers find themselves, losing ground. They've just lost 2 games in a row. They've got walloped by Philadelphia 5-3. And then they got beat by Philadelphia again 5-2. Carm, I like the Blues here a little bit. I'm worried getting in the way of the Rangers, and I know you have some comments about this, so we'll go to you first. Minus the last 2 games, the Rangers have just been playing outstanding hockey. I don't know if I'm ready to get in the way of that yet. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think you have to look at the last 2 games. First off is we're looking at the Blues, and they're doing it again. It's that second half push. Now they've won, I think, 7 straight wins. And it's that, they did it last year and they're doing it again this year. They have a very favorable schedule to close out the regular season, with the exception of like maybe 3 or 4 tough games to run out the season. But it's this, tonight against the Rangers, I think they play New Jersey and then they come home, and it's a very favorable schedule for them. And I just see them moving up the standings. Rangers did, and this is what we talked about before the show. Rangers did what a lot of teams have done. Like, they've been playing above their heads. We have to give a lot of that to the fact that Sherstaken, the rookie, had just been playing above his head, standing on his head, getting him a lot of wins. But ultimately, when a team has a nice little streak going on and then they lose a game, they tend to lose the next game. We saw it with Tampa Bay, insane run.
Washington
23,
did the
26
same
games. Washington, same thing. Pittsburgh, same thing.
Yep.
You just drop a couple in a row and you look at it. So yeah, they lost to Philadelphia. I played against them the very next game again because I figured they were going to lose the Philadelphia game and the Philadelphia again, and they did. And I can just see them losing again. Look, they won 9 of 10, and to get back into this sort of that wild card race, but they're still 4 points out, and they have an extremely tough schedule to close out, which is why I don't think they make the playoffs. They play Washington twice, Pittsburgh 3 times, Colorado, Calgary, Tampa, Dallas, Philly. That is as tough as it gets to close out your season with a few other games mixed in. It's just one of those things now. Georgiev is in net tonight. They showcased him, but he hasn't been very good since December. I think they were looking to move him. They didn't move him. They were asking for too much. And it's one of those things. I'm looking at the total here, and I'll explain to you why. Binnington's been great. 5 straight wins to close out February with a couple of shutouts. But since the turn of the year, he's 2-5 on the road. He's allowed 27 goals in those 7 games, to 3.86 goals against average. It's one of those games where you expect the Rangers to push back and try and not fall into a thing where they lose 4 or 5 in a row. So I think we're going to see some goals tonight. The total's standing at 6 right now, and that's perfect. If it was 6.5, I'd be off of it. But the fact that it's 6, I'm definitely on the over here tonight.
Most long-winded answer in history of puck time. And may I make a suggestion to both you and Alex, guys? Do your thing. Don't bother with reading the comments. I am the host. I will handle the comments. Carm, you were like trying to read the comments while doing your piece.
No, I was actually reading my notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Try write your notes with bigger handwriting, Carm.
I'm going to wear the bubbles glasses. I need those bubbles glasses.
Yeah. Alex, my friend, where are you going in this game?
Well, same direction as Carm. I like the over here in this spot. And it's unfortunate to see, like I said, what happened with the Rangers. You can almost compare the Rangers, at least the pattern that they were going in, similar to the Blues last year. Rangers were a team that seemed dead in the water early in the year, made a couple of moves, brought up a rookie goalie in Shesterkin, same way the Blues brought up Binnington last year, and he was running hot. Unfortunately, got into that fender bender a couple weeks ago, and now he's out indefinitely with that rib injury. He should be back before the end of the season, but it might be too late, especially now with Chris Kreider, their top scorer, out with a broken foot indefinitely. It's just a tough spot for the Rangers right now. He said losing back-to-back games against Philly. They've got a really tough road ahead of them where this is a Blues team that's running hot on all cylinders. The only way I would be looking here would be Blues in regulation.
He's Alex B. Smith on a 12-4 NHL run, and Carm, that's how you do it, baby. That's it. Just roll it out. 1.5 tight minutes of pure information. Stop thinking about cannellonis.
All right. I'm actually going for lunch after this, and that actually
Guys,
sounds pretty good. So let's go.
people commenting, we're reading them. I know one short, you want to discuss futures. There's 10 games today. Not the best day to discuss futures, but as far as your question goes, Philadelphia Flyers, do they have a shot to win the cup? The short answer, the long answer, and the medium rare answer is no. Washington, Tampa Bay, and Boston, Pittsburgh, these 4 teams are so good. You're going to need to get by at least 2 of them to win the cup, and Philly's just not ready for that. Boys, speaking of Boston and Tampa Bay, they're playing each other tonight, and I love this matchup. Tampa Bay minus 120, over and under 6. And if Tampa Bay is going to get into this a shot at winning the division, they really need to win this game tonight. Alex, I'll go to you first. What do you like in this game?
It's a pretty tough one because you look at how Boston, they've been playing well. They've won 13 of the last 16 overall, but they've struggled against Tampa Bay. They've lost 9 of their last 10 against them. Conversely, the Tampa Bay team, they got the 4-3 win against Calgary to snap that 4-game losing streak. So it just seems to be kind of a war of attrition. Which team is going to start off hot first? And this is one I'll definitely be watching. I would probably look to jump into this one with an in-game wager, see who gets off to the good start first, because, like I said, the trends and angles seem to kind of clash against one another. We know these are both good hockey teams that can turn it on in any given moment, just a matter of whether tonight's the night for which side.
I struggle with the over in this or the under in this type of a game. I mean, it could be 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. It could be a 6-5 game. There's inconsistency when these two teams play each other. It's literally, if they score early, if we get a 1-1 midway through the first, this game's going to go over, and otherwise it's just going to get bogged down. Before we get into you, just a quick shout out. Giromo, I can't pronounce your name. Why do I always cut the guys off? Just so everybody knows, there's a 12-second delay. It's not as easy as you guys think. I hear these guys talking before they actually, I hear them stop talking before they actually finish. So my apologies. It's obviously not me doing it purposely, although there are times when I really do want to cut Carm off. Alex,
most of the time.
Yeah. Alex, go ahead, Carm.
It's me now, man. Let's move it to me. Listen, you've already got Alex's opinion on this game, so you're going to hear from me now.
Can you make it really long with a lot of ums and ahs? Maybe eat some food in the middle of it, have a drink, go to the washroom.
I'm drinking water right now. But to your point of the totals, 4-5-1 the last 10, the total going over, and 4-6 last 10 in Tampa. So there's really not much there trend wise if you're looking at that. Goalies tonight, Rask and Vasilevsky. Rask is 17-11-2, Vasilevsky 4-4-1 against each other, their opponents. The Bruins. When you look at they've lost 9 of the last 10 against Tampa, the last 5 in Tampa, but the Bruins team this year is a little different than the Bruins teams of years past as far as that goes. Is they're playing a really strong road game now. They're the 3rd best road record in the East this year. 12-5 their last 15, and you can make a case for those. 12-3 their last 15. You can make a case for a couple of those losses. Coming off a Western road trip, they lose their first back at home. Going West Coast to East Coast from Arizona to Detroit, and you should never lose in Detroit, but it was a second of a back-to-back going West Coast to East Coast. So you can make an excuse for those ones, but the price here is just, it's not enough for me to want to take the Bruins. Bruins are like, I think, plus 106. 125, I'm taking the Bruins all day long, even though I've been a fan of Tampa all year. For me, this is one of those games where you sit back and watch. I'm going to watch to see if the public bet continues to bet Tampa today. If they do and I get plus 120 on the Bruins, I'll take the Bruins tonight.
He's Carmine Bianco, one of my best friends, one of the nicest guys around, has really bad taste in sporting teams, but we will forgive. One short ward, thank you for putting that up in the comment section. I'll literally read it. Everybody in here watching today, it's $2 Tuesdays. Make sure, even if you don't bet the play, to buy it, consider it a tip. And I agree, man. I mean, we do a lot of hard work here. We try to make these shows great. As you can see, so many changes are happening all the time. We're now live. So please take advantage of our $2 offer. And, you know, I would bet the plays. Like, seriously, Buster is just on absolute fire in hockey. Drew's doing great in college. Drew's the featured handicapper over at wagertalk.com. Buster at Sports Memo. Make sure to check that out. The next game I want to talk about is Edmonton and Dallas, and we saw Edmonton just lay the smackdown on Nashville last night. Now they're in a back-to-back environment. They're plus 150, and they're playing really good hockey. The over and under here is 5.5, and Alex, I'll go to you first. I find that a really interesting total because Edmonton is playing to the over and Dallas is playing to the under. But we have to ask ourselves, you know, we're getting 5.5 on Dallas almost every game they're playing. We're not getting 5.5s with Edmonton. I think this game is going to go over the total tonight. I do want you to, take into account Edmonton put up 8 goals last night. 8. Does that bode well for them scoring or not? That's an interesting question. But either way, I think we're going to get 6 to 7 goals. Alex?
Yeah, I agree. I know, and sometimes use that old analogy in baseball when you see a team get a bunch of runs that they've kind of used up all their runs in the next game. They fall a bit flat. I don't think we're going to see that here with Edmonton as far as goals go. I mean, Leon Draisaitl is absolutely on fire right now. Same with Connor McDavid. With those two clicking, at the same time, that's a very scary 1-2 combo. And like you said, this Dallas team, they've been playing a lot of overs, and we're getting lucky with that 5.5. Last 2 games, 4-3 finals. They had that 4-1 game against Carolina with a ton of missed chances there. That should have gone over. It was a 5-1 game against St. Louis that they lost. So that 5.5 number has actually been cashing with Dallas as of late. The unders have been when they're lined at 6 or 6.5. And like I said, with Edmonton, we're lucky to get anything less than 6, especially coming off of an 8-goal outburst. So yeah. I like the over here in the first period.
He's Alex B. Smith, Carmine Bianco with us. Carm, where are you going in this game?
When I first looked at these stats, and I looked at the goalies, and it's Koskinen in net tonight for Dallas. For Edmonton, and Khudobin in net for Dallas. I thought, okay, well, Bishop's not in net, so that's got to bode well for the total at least. Bishop's been great, but you look at against each other. Koskinen's 2-1-2, 2.15 goals against average against Dallas. Khudobin 6-2-1, 2.01 goals against average against the Oilers. But the one caveat in all of this is that Khudobin has not looked good since early February. He's allowed like 3, 4, 6. He's got like one good one against Florida, who, as we know, has completely fallen apart as a team that can't seem to score. Yeah. So I tend to want to put.
Well, they can only not score. Sorry to interrupt. This time I actually interrupted. They can only not score when I'm on the over.
Yeah, I think we all were. I think it was one of those ones where I think all the public and cappers did love that over with Florida, and it just went south. I'm not sure what's happened to this team. Again, it's one of those ones, kind of like I referenced with the Rangers a little earlier, is when a team plays out of their skin for a long period of time, they're going to hit one where everything falls apart. And I think that's what we're seeing with Florida, who are playing themselves out of a playoff spot. But to get back to this one here, I think just the fact that Khudobin hasn't looked very good, and I watched that Edmonton game last night. I did have the over in that game, and tweeted about the great thing about when it's 3-3, you've won the game. It's great, but my God, Draisaitl just looks absolutely unbelievable. This is a guy who he's 24, but at the age of 19, I think in 37 games, he only had about 9 points or something. And look, he's 24 now, and he had 107 points prior to last night's, or after last night's game. He had 5 points last night. absolutely one of those things. Never give up on your talent. It's easy to say as a 19-year-old, okay, maybe this guy doesn't have it or he's not showing it early. But at 24, my God, that guy absolutely dominated that game yesterday. That backhand to forehand and into the net for, I think, his third goal was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm leaning over here.
Yeah, Daniel, you mentioned in the chat Dallas should not be at minus 170. I agree 100% Dallas should not be at 170 tonight. The problem is I can't play Edmonton. I don't like the fact that they sort of blew their load, if you will, last night with an 8-goal outburst. And they're also on a back-to-back and a travel back-to-back, which is even harder. I think ultimately the line is making me lay off of Dallas. So I agree they should not be minus 170, but I don't think Edmonton is the play. I'm with Carmine and Alex. I like the over. And also, guys, I really appreciate the comments. Look, if there's sound issues today, we're trying to work this thing out. This is day one, but we are live every single day, Monday to Friday, from here on in at 1 p.m. Eastern. So put that down in your calendar. I'm the Prez, and I host this show every single day. Boys, the last show we're going to talk about is my Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know if you guys listen to Alan Shine on Mad Dog Sports, but he puts my in front of every team. My Toronto Maple Leafs are playing my San Jose Sharks. That's how he would say it. Not me. This is my only team, and they're on a roll right now. They're going into San Jose. We got an over and under in this game of 6.5. San Jose is plus 140. The total, Toronto minus 155. And, Carm, I'm going to go to you first on this because, we live in Toronto and we do follow the Leafs, although I know you're not a Leaf fan, but you follow them. One thing about the Leafs is this team perennially, and I'm talking decades, they play up or down to their competition. They've just played a few outstanding games in a row. I mean, a victory in Tampa Bay, a victory in Florida. They won at home against Vancouver. This suggests a disaster for the Leafs tonight. I would take San Jose if I were you guys. Obviously, I'm not. I don't play against Toronto ever. And I lean on over the total. I think we're going to get some goals scored. Carm, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll go a second. But, yeah, the Leafs have rebounded from that Zamboni fiasco with a couple big wins, for the last 5 games. And this West Coast trip has to be a 6-point trip. It has to be a 6-point trip. They've got to win all 3 games, San Jose, LA, Anaheim. They avoid Colorado. They avoid the Vegas Golden Knights. They avoid Arizona. These are 3 games they need to win before they come home because they're gonna face when they hit the East Coast again. They're gonna face Tampa, Boston, and Nashville. The 3 games coming back. So you want to pick up the points here. It's a great time to bury Florida as far as that 3rd seed in the Atlantic. Sharks are just unreliable to me. They've only won 3 in a row on 3 different occasions. They haven't done it since November. I know they got a couple wins in a row, but it's that lack of consistency in why they're sitting in 13th, tied in 14th, let's say, with Anaheim, and only 4 points out of bottom spot in the West. Like I said, the Leafs, that 3rd seed in the Atlantic, they're literally going to get into the playoffs on default, as far as I'm concerned. And this is no slight on Leaf fans, but Florida's fallen apart. There is no other team in the Atlantic that can take that 3rd spot away from the Leafs. And the Leafs could very well finish 9th or 10th in the East and make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It could very well happen. It can. As far as goaltending tonight, listen, Jones has played very well against the Leafs. He's 7-2-1 with a 1.98 goals against average against the Leafs. He's in net tonight. To your point of the over, I don't like it. I don't want to take it. I think the Leafs play a very well defensive game, and they probably get out of San Jose with one of those 3-1 wins tonight, 4-1 wins.
Hey, Bleds, you've never caught the show live before because it's never been live before. Today is our first day. Alex, look, I lean on the over here. I'm actually not going to bet this game at all. So, Carm, yeah, it's a lean on the over, but there's better bets out there. Alex, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, I agree. This is a stay away game for me. I'll tune in and watch it since it's a late game. But like I said, the fact that Jones has a stellar record against Toronto, they're coming off of a big win against a good team in Pittsburgh, shutting them out 5-0. Like I said, this could be a bit of a flat spot for Toronto. It shouldn't be. They should be geared up for this game. Yeah, okay, San Jose is one of the worst teams in the league, but like I said, you have a job to do in locking down that third spot in that division. Like I said, separating yourself from the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
This should be a big win for them, but you're just not quite sure. Like I said, there's other spots, better spots on the board, so it's just one I'm going to pass.
Yeah, hey, Bleds, no, one of you guys, Wezzy, you asked about the NBA show, when is it coming back? And yeah, I mean, listen, we had some staffing issues on the NBA show. It's just such an incredible show. We're working on it. We have a new host. The show should be up and running in the next 24 or 48 hours, so please bear with us. Stuff happens, man. Like, I wish we could tick like a Timex or a Petit Philippe, but we can't. There's issues, and we're fixing them. We're making adjustments as we go along. Everybody, yeah, and I love Joe too. Joe is as good as it gets, but things happen, man, and we hope he'll be back. Boys, it's the last minute of play before we get into every other game on the board. Real quick shout out again. It's $2 Tuesdays over at Wager Talk and Sports Memo. Buster Sports is the $2 Tuesday handicapper at Sports Memo. He's on a huge hockey run. As far as Wager Talk goes, Drew Martin is the featured handicapper, $2 for his play. And when you buy both plays, you actually get a promo code for a real big deal for something else, whether it's their long-term package or somebody else. I mean, Rob Vino is the hottest handicapper we have. We talked about him on the show yesterday and the day before. So he will be, you'll get a promo code for Rob Vino regardless of whether you buy Buster or Drew. So check that out. No, Finn did not fire everybody. That's funny. Okay, boys, last minute of play. Let's go. New York Islanders. I go to you, Alex, minus 135 against Montreal, and I get that the New York Islanders have not been playing well of late, but they're a better team than Montreal, and if they're going to make the playoffs, they have to win this game. The money's been coming in on Montreal. We had it opening at minus 141. It's down to minus 135. I'm going to take what the bookmakers give me and bet on the New York Islanders tonight. You, Alex?
Ooh, not so fast, my friend. This is a Montreal team that's won 5 of the last 6 against the 10 when playing in New York. This might be one of those spots where Montreal tries to play spoiler and gets a win here against the struggling Islanders team.
Carmine, I know we spoke about this game last night. I know you agree with Alex. Regale us.
Well, it's not so much agreeing. There's talking points for this, but I thought the Habs were dead in the water a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then they picked up points, 7 of a possible 10 points, but they're still 9 points back with like 15 games left.
Yeah, they're
and
dead
they have
in the
no
water.
games. Yeah, there are no games against teams that they need to catch. Columbus, Carolina, the Rangers. So it's a bad thing for them.
No, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, well, they're in that spoiler role, I guess. The Islanders need to find their scoring. The last 10 games are averaging 2 goals a game. Before that, the 10 previous games are averaging 3.7 goals a game. So get that scoring back because you've got their goalies are playing well. Greiss is playing well. His second half numbers aren't nearly as good as his first half numbers, but if they can get any type of scoring, I always figure if the Islanders can score 3, they'll win a game. So It's one of those things again tonight. Score 3, and I think they win.
Yeah, Vivian's parlay's one short. I'll make sure she's got one tomorrow. She's just been so busy, but I'm on it 100%. And Bleds, I like the under in the Islanders game too. I actually think this could be a 3-1 Islanders game. I think Montreal under the team total is a good play as well here. Pittsburgh against Ottawa, minus 300 for Pittsburgh. A total is 6.5. And Alex, this Ottawa team is feisty. They are not quitting. There is no chance that I can lay 300 against this Ottawa team. I'm going to pass on this game. What do you like?
Only thing I would look at here would be the Penguins team total over 3.5. They're going to be playing some pissed off hockey. And I know they're coming back off of a road trip, but like I said, they've lost 6 in a row. The offense has gone completely dry. I think they're going to find a way to get that rolling against what's a horrible Ottawa defense. Even though they are playing, some inspired hockey, I think we see Pittsburgh get some goals here tonight.
Yeah, Mike, I got no predicted score on this Pittsburgh-Ottawa game. It's all over the map. I mean, 6-2 is a totally reasonable score, but so is 3-2 with Ottawa fighting to the bitter end. Minnesota against Nashville. And Carm, you and I spoke about this game last night a lot. Minnesota minus 130. Over and under is 6, and Minnesota could be one of the hottest teams in the league. And guys have been talking about them in the chat room already. Alex, you made a comment that you think Winnipeg and Nashville are going to fall away and allow Minnesota a chance in. Starts tonight, man. Minnesota needs to win this game, and I don't think they're going to. Nashville is a pissed off team right now. I would be wary. I think the tie might be in play here, Alex.
Yeah, you could look at the draw here. That's something, obviously, both teams needing points. But Minnesota's been rolling hot right now. It's a team that looked dead in the water a couple of weeks ago when they made their coaching change. But Dean Evanson has this team playing hot. Alex Stalock is looking in fine form like he did early in the year when he was in relief of Devin Dubnyk. And this team's getting some offense now, too. I mean, we saw them put up 7 against Detroit. Okay, no big deal. Anybody can score 7 against Detroit. But
I
5
can't.
goals twice. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could nowadays. But, Columbus, 5 goals there. They hung close in that 4. And Washington, a ton of chances. Like I said, they played well in that game despite the loss. So this is one where I think the Wild are going to come and fire up. They're a much better team at home than they are on the road. And I know Nashville's won 7 in a row against the Wild, but I think Minnesota's in better form tonight. I think this is a pretty decent price to take a shot at the Wild.
Mr. Bianco, my friend.
Yeah, first of all, I pass on that Pittsburgh game, even though you didn't ask me. But
nobody cared.
As far as tonight's game goes, we talked about this earlier. I think the Preds were embarrassed last night. 5 goals in the third period. That's about as it gets. Hines talked about in his press conference after the game, post game, that they were embarrassed and they need to be better. And it's one of those things. Listen, teams do it all the time. They get embarrassed, and we're like, all right, time out, and then they get embarrassed again. We've seen it on more than one occasion this season. But I actually think the Preds are a better team with Saros in net. Pekka Rinne, I've said it all year. This guy is struggling this year. He's not having a good season. I think having Saros in net tonight is a good thing. And I think the Preds are live, and obviously you're only getting plus 110, 115 out of them, but you're getting plus money on a team I think should win tonight. So it's Preds for me.
Somebody just commented that if you've bet Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's losing people's mortgages. Just so everyone knows, if you bet Pittsburgh blind from the beginning of the season to now, you would be up money, not down. Winnipeg, I grant you'll be down in the last few games, but guys, it's bigger than that. Winnipeg, Buffalo. Buffalo scored 2 goals 4 games in a row. Carm, I go to you first. I like the over. Is this the game Buffalo starts to score?
I don't think so, but I've been waiting for the Sabres team to fall apart. I don't understand why they were buyers at the trade deadline because I don't see them making the playoffs. They're a 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th type of team, so they're not going to make the playoffs. I think this game means a little bit more to Winnipeg. Yeah. And, the Sabres have looked like what I thought the Sabres should look like over the last 3 games, and I think this makes it 4 in a row tonight as far as consecutive losses. I don't like the total at all. I'm staying away from it.
Alex, I like Winnipeg. I like the over. I like Winnipeg more in regulation. I think, I think this game is going to be either 3-2, 4-2, or 5-2 for Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think Winnipeg's going to find some scoring here against this Buffalo team. They've been giving up 3, 4, and 5 in succession over those last 3 losses. I would take a shot with Winnipeg, the team total over 3.5. You can still get it at a plus price.
Boys, thanks for tuning in. Puck Time with the Prez, our first live show ever. If we're having sound issues, delay issues, my apologies. We're working out all the kinks. I'm loving all the comments. I'm right on top of it. We're reading everything. And yes, Wesy, it's $2 Tuesdays. Buster Sports over at Sports Memo with a hockey play, and Drew Martin with a college hoops play over at Wager Talk. Chicago minus 175 and over and under of 6 against Anaheim. I cannot touch this game. Alex?
Yeah, no, there's nothing to bet here. Somebody made a comment in the chat earlier about, the Hawks aren't out of it. They technically are, but they'd have to get on a hot run. If they can start beating some bad teams like Anaheim, maybe they climb back in the same way Minnesota has. I highly doubt that happens. We can't even look at the first period over in this anymore either, because that's cooled off now with Anaheim. We've seen them just completely fall apart on both ends of the ice. So just too high of a price for Chicago, but hopefully my Hawks can win the game.
Carm, Lance likes the under in this game. Do you have a side or a total for us?
I'm actually leaning side here, and this is one of those ones. Every once in a while, I'll look for a live dog on the board, and I think the Ducks are a little live here, and you're getting plus 160 on them. I understand they're sitting, 4 points above last place in the West, but it's one of those things where they're coming off a homestand. They hit the road, and sometimes that first game on the road is possibly the best game a team plays. You look at their past 10 on the road; they've won 6 of those, 6 of 10. Picked up points in 8 of 10, and for a team that's in last place, that's not or second last, that's not a team that's given up yet. They're playing well enough to possibly be a live dog tonight at plus 160.
Guys, I'm going to get better at this. I've got to move screens, change volumes, hit mute, read comments. Go from one game to another, give out coupon codes. You can see the gray on my shoulders. I even forgot to turn my lights on to make the green screen look better. I'll get better, that I promise you. Vegas Golden Knights minus 300 against New Jersey, over and under 5.5. I like the over in this game. I like Vegas minus 1.5, minus 2.5. I think this game has got 6-1 written all over it. Carmine Bianco.
6-1 written all over it. Well, I'm not a big fan of the total in this game, and the reason being is I don't know what we're going to get from New Jersey. Anytime I want to take a total, I have to believe that the team, the underdog, which is the Devils in this case, are able to score at least a couple of goals, and I just don't see that happening tonight. Vegas has been playing so well, and I know they threw in an absolute clunker against the after eight wins in a row against the Kings, but I think we see the Vegas team that we saw during that 8-game stretch, and they did it defensively as well too. This is one of those games where I just see the Knights winning. I think the Knights puck line is a good bet here, and I see something along the lines of 4-1, maybe even 4-2, but 4-1, yeah. 5-1 is for the Knights tonight for me.
Bajargi, I am assuming that's how you pronounce your name. I'm going to guess Finland. Thanks for the shout out. Drinks are on you, my friend. As for Kevin asking me about my hockey team, yeah, it's still going on. My last game of the season is tonight. My plus minus is probably to the minus 100, and I'm a defenseman. God, I suck. Alex, Vegas, talk to me.
I like this Jersey team total under 2.5. We got Robin Leonard going tonight for Vegas, and like I said, we've seen teams when they go on these hot win streaks and then finally lose the game, they tend to lose that second game and kind of fall from momentum. But I think with Leonard in that now, this new team, we saw how great he was playing with the Hawks all season. I think they'll be able to turn things around. Conversely, you got Mackenzie Blackwood more than likely starting in net. He's been looking great for the Devils, so this might be actually kind of a lower scoring game. I think Vegas bounces back and win, but I don't see where New Jersey's going to be able to find and score more than 2 or 3 goals.
Boys, we're almost done. Bajargi, stupid me, man. I should have gone with Iceland, and I heard Iceland is unbelievable. I've had some friends visit there and have literally said it is the most beautiful country in the world. The great thing for me is I'm thinking with the cold is probably a lot of sex that goes on in Iceland. So shout out to Iceland. Carm, you want to finish the show?
I had one of my very good friends get married in Iceland. They took the whole family there The Northern Lights, absolutely beautiful there. I think that what's it called? The Aurora Borealis, I think it's called. Is that correct?
Yep.
And they have those glass like huts where you can literally fall asleep and have sex and look north or whatever.
All they do in Iceland is I'm amazed Iceland doesn't have an overpopulation problem.
But hey,
16 children. How did that happen? It was cold outside.
I'm a big soccer fan, and Iceland. They've gotten so much better as a nation playing soccer. They made it to I think it was the quarterfinals or semifinals of the Euros in 2016, I believe.
Okay, Alex, finish it up, my brother.
I remember the big Iceland run with soccer. That was really fun to watch. It's always great to see different nations that may not always get the recognition they deserve moving forward. But I mean, hey, it's a great show. I appreciate everybody live in the chat.
Yeah,
it's always fun interacting with everybody. So I'm glad that this will be a live show moving forward, and something that we can keep going right into the playoffs.
Kevin, Wager Talk is your ESPN. Check this out, and we'll end this. ESPN, a bunch of guys started the company in their garage or garage. Nobody believed in them. It was a sports network, first one in America, and now it's one of the largest media companies on the planet. Put down in your calendar to check where Wager Talk is in 20 years, because we are
Prez?
not only your ESPN, we're going to be everybody's soon. Boys, cannot thank you all enough. Check out the ladies. We only sleep with the family. We are close with. Listen, if you got to sleep with family in Iceland to keep warm, so be it. Who am I to judge?
Oh man.
Okay, guys, we're done. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Come back, watch us live. It was a lot of fun, and I'm gonna get a lot better. That's for sure. Later, boys. Thanks so much for being part of our first live stream ever.